Welcome, friends, to another video on a journey through Africa's history and Ghana's proud heritage. Today, we uncover a short story of Okomfo Anokye, the mystic priest, the miracle worker, and the man whose power and wisdom shaped the Ashanti Kingdom. This is more than history. It is legend, a tale of courage, unity, and destiny that still lives today. Africa, the cradle of humanity, a land of vast beauty, rich culture, and timeless heritage. In West Africa lies Ghana, a kingdom of gold and honor. And in Ghana, long ago, was born a child unlike any other, Okomfo Anokye. Many years ago, there lived a poor married couple. One day, on a quiet night in the village of Awukugua, a miracle occurred. The couple had given birth to a child, but in his tiny fist he held a sacred cow's tail and a talisman glowing with power. His lips whispered his own name, Anokye. The people gasped, for they knew this was no ordinary child, but one chosen by the spirits. As he grew, Okomfo Anokye's gifts astonished his people. He walked upon a single thread, as if the air itself held him. He carried water in a basket, yet not a single drop was spilled. With a touch, he turned little into plenty, multiplying food to feed the hungry. And in a single day, he planted a tree that rose tall to the sky. The people saw this was no boy, but a vessel of power. Years later, with King Osei Tutu by his side, he called upon the heavens. Before the eyes of the people, the sky opened. Okomfo Anokye stretched his hands as the Golden Stool descends toward his hands, gentle wind ruffling his standing on one of his left leg. From above descended the Golden Stool, glowing, eternal, the very soul of the Ashanti nation. As it rested before them, the chiefs knelt. For this stool was no throne of man, it was the covenant of a people's unity. Okomfo Anokye planted a sword into the ground in Kumasi as a spiritual symbol of unity, permanence, and divine protection. The sword represented the binding force of the Ashanti Kingdom. By planting it in the earth, Okomfo Anokye was showing that the Ashanti nation was rooted permanently in Kumasi. Warriors pulled with all their might, chiefs commanded with all their power, but none could move it. The sword remained unshaken, immovable. And even today it stands, a silent witness of a legend's promise to his people. At a time, the Ashanti states were under the control of the powerful Denkira kingdom. They had to pay heavy tribute in gold, slaves, and goods. Okomfo Anokye, alongside King Osei Tutu, believed the Ashanti should be independent. But the Ashanti's destiny was tested in war. On the battlefield at Feyeyase, they faced the mighty Denkira. Okomfo Anokye stood firm. His words swayed enemy generals, their weapons falling to the earth. Then, as a sign, he spat a kola seed into the ground, and before their eyes a tree sprang forth. The Ashanti triumphed that day, and the kola tree stood as a living memory of their victory. They came back home drummers, dancing, Ashanti soldiers raising spears, children and the villagers dancing, smiling at Okomfo Anokye with joyful noise. But even the chosen must one day return to the ancestors. One quiet night, beneath the kola tree, Okomfo Anokye entered a trance. He said he was going to collect the key of death to prevent death on his people. He walked into his shrine, holding the sacred cow's tail, and was never seen again. But he was not gone. His spirit lived on, in the Golden Stool, in the immovable sword, in the hearts of the Ashanti. For Okomfo Anokye was more than a man. He was a legend, and legends do not die. They become eternal.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next adventure. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And share your own story ideas for my next video. Until then, this is Bernito at Edit, signing off. See you in the next one.